Drivers, start your engines!
Fired up when you're ready, man.
Hello YouTube, Komodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Scrap Mechanic. Today I have a bit of a surprise for you. As you saw from the intro, the NASCAR track is back. This is a project that I took on and I never finished. I took my big break from YouTube a couple months ago, and this just kind of got swept under the rug, and I was really mad that I'd never finished this. So I decided to go back this week and take care of this NASCAR map. It is now complete. You will be able to download it down in the description. So yeah, we've got a lot of new things to show you guys here, a lot of old things that have been updated, and I'm just really excited for today's episode. So remember folks, if you are enjoying Scrap Mechanic, leave this video a thumbs up, it helps out my channel, and let's jump right into this map. Alright, here we are at the Komodo Ville Speedway for the Scrap 500. Now I do want to thank my Discord members for painting up some cars here today. We're going to check those out here in just a bit. If you didn't know, I do have a Discord, and I'll link it down in the description if you'd like to join that. So anyways, what have we changed here with the track? Well, one of the big things is the whole fact that the track now has an outside. It used to just be the tracks and the stands, but now we have a full parking lot area, we have a highway that shoots by the track, there's actually another entrance where the haulers would get into, and there's an RV lot on the other side. Now, this is the hauler from one of the episodes. There has been a big modification to it. I had it to where it opens up in the back and it could set a car in the top side, but the little ramp door would not actually go up. But now, since we have pistons, we can actually make that happen. We'll check that out here in a second. But anyways, let's go ahead and go to the inside of the track. So, say everybody's here on race day, they're going to park out in the parking lots here, and they're going to go around to the front gate here in the front. So yeah, we come into here, you turn your ticket in, get it scanned here on the sensors, and you are let into the track. Now I've done a bit to the outside here of the track. I've added some porta potties, some setting areas. There is the truck from a couple episodes ago. I just have it sitting out here on display, so if you want to take pictures with that. I am getting a little bit of lag through here, and it's mainly because of the amount of vehicles that I have spawned in the track right now. I try to get all my Discord vehicles out here, so you will have to deal with just a little bit of lag here, but once the vehicles are actually gone, it's not too bad. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and swing around to the other side of the track here. Alright, here we are on this side of the track. We also have another picnic area over here. We've got a couple of bathrooms over there. There's some, like a food trailer and a little food stand over here. These are actually items that we've used before. I just wanted to stick them out here, that way they're at the track and it gives it somewhat of a realistic feel. Now keep in mind, this isn't a really huge track, so we don't need too many facilities, but we've got a couple back there if you guys want to role play and play around in that. Really the main thing that I want to show you guys is the track itself and what's changed. So we're going to walk up these steps, we're going to set in the grandstands here. Actually no, let's go for the high up view, the more expensive tickets. So we're going to go up into here and check out the track. Quite a bit has changed. We've got some new infield facilities, we've got new pit boxes. I've completely redesigned the NASCAR to handle a little bit better on the track. Now that's not to say that it isn't still a bit bumpy, but it's definitely pretty good. So yeah, you've got that, you've got some new foliage in the background. The back grandstands, nothing much has changed over there, but we'll still go back there and check those out. And over here to the left, we have a little RV lot and a gate section in the track to get into the infield. So, walk along here. We might just hop the fence. You know, I guess we should go, like, actually get in the legit way. We're gonna hop this fence probably right here. So yeah, like I was saying, we have a highway around the front of it. It now goes around to the side. There's a side road here. Now this side road is for two things. This is for anybody to get into the infield and for the RV campers that want to come in. Now, there's not a bunch of RV spots here. I just wanted to have a little section because that was one of the requested items. from the last episode, which was really like 4 months ago. But yeah, we've got an RV lot here, so if you want to come in, park your camper, you get a pretty good view. A lot of these RV lots do have some sort of, not a really tall fence, even though this looks kind of tall, but enough to where they can sit on top of the campers and look at the track, so you get kind of a decent view here. Now, you would have some officials sitting here at the gate. This is actually a gate, by the way, to let people in and out. At most tracks, they actually have a tunnel to get into the infield, but obviously Scrap Mechanic were limited to the flat land here, so I couldn't build a tunnel to go under the track. So we have like a classic gate. So yeah, here's the view you would get if you're sitting over here in the RV lot. It's actually kind of nice. You can't really see turns 1 and 2 that well, but other than that, not too bad. So yeah, most likely you would have like an official setting here, maybe a cop and security, make sure nobody wants to come into this little area here. But if you need to let some of the haulers in, if you need to let some officials in, whoever you need to let in, you can get them in over here. Maybe the emergency vehicles for the day, so we can do that. Go ahead and close that gate. There we go. Alright, so we're back at the track. Now the track still has the same configuration as it did before. I would say it's right around, in scrap terms, probably 3/4 of a mile. It's a very flat oval. It looks kind of like, if you know any bit about NASCAR, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I would say it's somewhat similar to that. Not quite as big, but still a pretty big track. So yeah, here's the start-finish line here. As far as what we've changed with the track, of course I said we didn't change anything with the track surface, but I have painted the walls to have the red and white stripes. To me, I like that. It reminds me of like a classic track. A lot of tracks are actually doing this nowadays. It just kind of gives a retro feel, so I do like that. We've got that on the front here and on the back. Over here, turns 1 and 2. It was really empty on the other side. I almost put like another RV lot, but I decided to have some sort of foliage over here, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. Like they planted a whole bunch of trees along the track here. So you've got that. You've got the exit of pit road here. We painted CG here in the grass. This is the only grass area at the track, by the way. So yeah, we can swing around here. You can see the back stretch. Like I said, nothing has changed with the back stretch grandstands. Pretty much the same. They've got a decent view. Sometimes it's a little obstructed by this fence here, but this fence is, of course, to keep cars in the track and keep them out of the garage area. At least, you know, you don't want to go into the garages like that. You want to actually use the entrance and exit. So yeah, we're going to swing down here. We're going to take a NASCAR out here in a second and make some laps. Here's pit road entrance. I've actually expanded this out just a bit to make it easier if you're playing with your friends to get on and off pit road. So here's your commitment line. You would hit that, come pulling in. You're going to swing around the corners here, and you're going to end up on pit road. So pit road speed here at a track like this would probably be pretty low. It's a short track, so I think it's right around 35 miles per hour. So you can come in here and make your pit stops. You can go in and out of the garage. There's 2 entrance, or there's an entrance and an exit. I think we'll call this the actual entrance. So you've got that. We've got new pit boxes. I went ahead and made one of these. You can actually set up here. There is a couple mods being used here at the track. It's a vegetation mod and I believe the Derf mod pack for the track itself. Now also the cars use mods, but the cars won't be on the track in the map download. You'll have to go to the workshop for those. So yeah, the crew chief can sit up here. He's got his monitors to watch the race and see computer data, and he can command his pit crew around to get them to make some changes to the car. These are kind of hard to get out of, so let's go ahead and pop out the front. You've got the little pit signs right here. You can actually adjust these. They're on a controller, so I kind of maybe want to hook one of these up to a button. That way you can make it go down and try to tell your car to stop in the pit box. Back here, you've got the little area where the pit crew would be. You've got all your spare tires that they're going to put on the cars. You've got a little fence area here. A lot of times they do allow fans, or certain fans can get passes to get into the infield, but you don't want them like actually in the pit box area. So yeah, you've got pit boxes all the way down pit road. I did paint them all different colors. I did match a couple of the cars that were sent to my Discord. You can see this one here, and the pit box kind of matches it. So yeah, we've got a brand new NASCAR that we are about to go over. Let's go ahead and finish the infield section here, and then we'll check out the NASCARs and make some laps. Okay, as far as the infield section here, not a whole lot has changed. We have added these big old TVs, or we call them Jumbotrons, here to the infield for the fans to get to see replays and all that good stuff. It's actually double-sided, so the backstretch can see it too. You've got a much bigger victory lane over here. Now down over here, the garages have not changed one bit. They are completely the same. We've actually got one of the cars parked here in the garage. So yeah, the garages are not big. Normally the Infield has the haulers too, but I just do not have the space for it. And if I make the track any bigger, I think it's going to actually start to lag. So we're going to not do that. Alright, we're going to check out the NASCARs themselves. One more thing I do want to point out, we'll check this out here in a second. I do have a new suite area up here at the top. They actually have rooms in it now. It used to be completely empty. Now we've got rooms for people from officials to broadcasters and some people who are lucky enough to get to stay in some of the suites over to the side. So we'll check that out here in a second. Let's go over some of the NASCARs. Now I've got to give a lot of credit, like I said, to my Discord server. I put a blank car up and said, guys, have fun, paint whatever you want, and we will feature them in the video here. So we've got a ton of different paint schemes. I've painted 2 of them. I'll point those out here in a second. Here's the pace car up here, ready to lead the field to the green. So as far as the Discord members, let's go ahead and just go on the list real quick and I'll name them off. Let's just call this, actually they should be at the bottom of my lift. Nope, they're not going to be. Scrap Mechanic's lift is getting kind of bad. Like I wish you could sort it a bit better. So as far as the cars that we have here, Mr. Akron7, he has sent us 2 cars. He's got this sweet looking car here, and he's got, I think he calls it the banana boat car, which I actually think that was a real sponsor at some point. I believe that's Sunblock. So you've got that. Mr. Croca sent us a car. He says if you think really hard, you will get it. I don't get it. If anybody knows what this looks like or what this is supposed to be, please tell me. I'm not sure. So I've got that. I've got a couple here. Here's by Zombie 1919. He's got one. It kind of looks like a Ford Shelby GT. Now it's got a little add-on there that I'm pretty sure NASCAR would not be too happy with. This car might be illegal. So you've got that. You've got one that actually looks like Herbie. I actually really like this one. He's changed the headlight layout a bit on it, which is pretty cool. Over here, we've got one by, I always get this guy's name wrong. I think it's Quadizimo. He has sent us one. This is a pretty sweet looking paint job here. We've got 2, I think 2 by Jacob here. We've got one that actually looks like a bit like Richard Petty. A bit. I wouldn't say it's completely like it, but it's the colors are close. You got the red stripes on there. I've got another one here, and I don't know what that says. It's in a different language, but yeah, it's got a pretty cool looking car right here. And of course, I have my 2 cars that I've painted here. So, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into one of mine. Here's one of the ones I painted, but let's go to the one that's a little bit like a... Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, Mr. Akron, he did make some modifications to the suspension, and I'm pretty sure NASCAR might not approve this either. That is cambered in like crazy. So yeah, let's go into this one. This one is my race car. This is Komodo Gaming Racing. Let's go ahead. Actually, we're going to pull off pit road here. Briefly, I'm going to go over the changes to the NASCAR. Now, my other NASCAR was a bit stubbier, and it was a bit more simple in a lot of ways, but what we've done here, I've noticed since the concrete is fairly bouncy, which, by the way, I have changed some textures and painted to try to eliminate some of it, but it's still fairly bouncy. I've changed some things here in the car. Now the front, these suspension pieces are just for show. Really what's going on here in the front, you've got some free bearings and some set ones. It cambers the wheels in just a bit, and you've got double bearing turning now. So that's pretty good for the front. And the back suspension is the one that actually works back here, and this is for the travel on the car. I was going to make no suspension to try to just pin it down with thrusters, but it just didn't feel right, so I just went with one side that has suspension. Now we have started to use a couple of the mod parts on the inside. We have some interior parts. Let's go ahead and hop in here. As you can see, this thing looks absolutely sweet from the inside. I love the feel. It actually does feel like a racing cockpit. So you've got the steering wheel here, which is using the sci-fi pack. You've got a gear lever. You've got your gauges up here. You got a couple of switches. Now the switches are for several things. One switch is your downwards thrusters. You want to have these engaged when you're making laps around the track. It will try to minimize the bumping, even though the bumping's still there, or the bumpiness of the road. This will help a lot. The one key is for your engine compartment here, so it pops the hood up. Got some engine detail there. You can also see the downwards thrusters. Looks pretty cool. And the 3 key is for your back trunk here, and you can see there's a fuel cell there. You can see where it leads out to the actual fuel pickup, and you've got the thrusters in the back. So Anyways, let's go ahead and engage those thrusters here. And we're going to pull off pit road. Let's try to maintain some sort of pit road speed here. You've got a scoring tower here on the right. And here we go. Stay below the yellow line until you are clear to enter the track right here. And we're good to go. And here we go. We're actually going. This is a little bit faster than the last NASCAR. Now, I can go one notch up to make it even faster, but it does become a little bit uncontrollable. So I figured this is probably the best speed for you and your friends to play with in multiplayer if you want to hold a race here at the Komodo Ville Speedway. So anyways, as you can see, it's still bumpy, but it doesn't completely like... the last car would bump and then it would shift direction and flip over a lot of times, and it no longer does that. Now, hopefully Scrap Mechanic does a little bit more work on fixing the bumpiness to some of the different materials. I know they came out with a patch or two, but I do believe they actually reverted some of those changes they made because it screwed something else up. So, anyways, I bet you guys want to see what this looks like from the cockpit while we're driving. You got a pretty decent view here. We're going to make the corner. You got to kind of pay a little bit more attention here. You've got the, I think it's the A post is a little bit in your way, but of course we always have spotters up on top of the tower to spot us and let us know where all the other cars are around us. So yeah, ultimately this is probably one of my favorite builds here in Scrap Mechanic, my favorite map. It just is a thing that I just love race cars, I love race tracks, so it's just one of my favorite things of all time. Alright, we are ready to pull down pit road. I'm going to give you guys one last glance at all the different paint schemes from the Discord members. And we've got a couple more things we're going to check out and we will wrap this episode up. So yeah, we're going to pull down... Oh, you're going to pull down pit road, you want to turn. You don't want to hit the wall there. I got to find our pit box for the black and red pit box here. You got to be careful. I might have to shoot through a box here. And there we go. We are good to go. Alright, we are checking out all the cars one more time just to give you guys one more view of all the different paint schemes. Definitely awesome looking cars here. Now, if you're wondering why I don't have numbers on the side, it's either the numbers are too big or they have a mod that's like a scrap letters that have some numbers there. Those are a little too small, so I'm trying to find a happy medium there because I would eventually like to have numbers on the cars. But anyways, we're going to hop the fence here. I want to show you guys a sweet area real quick, and then we'll go out and I'll show you how the new hauler functions with the piston trailer that we have on there. So we're going to walk up into here. Now this is the sweet area on top of this. If you're wondering what's right up here, that is the spotter stand. That's for the team members to stand up here. They can spot for their drivers. You got a nice view of the whole track up here, which looks very awesome, by the way, when you're standing up here. But anyways, let's go down and check out the suites. Now the suites, the only thing that I had to change on them, I had to do it to where they don't have any doors. We get a little bit of lag on this main grandstands because it's such a massive structure that adding bearings was actually making it lag quite a bit. So there's no doors on any of the suites here. Anyways, we can walk into here. This is the officials and broadcast suite. So they've got a lot of monitors in here. They can sit down, they can officiate the race, they can do radio broadcast and broadcast to all the millions of people at home. So yeah, you got a really nice view up here of everything. Now over to the side, and we're just gonna go into one of these because these are all actually the same from here on. This is just a suite. Now this might be for a mega fan that's got a lot of money, but most likely this is for the corporate sponsors. Say you're sponsoring a car down here, you rented a suite for the race so you and your buddies can go up here, have a little bit of a party, and enjoy the race. Definitely got a nice area in here, nice and air conditioned. I've got a couple of mods in here. It's really just the kitchen mod. So I think in all, I really have maybe 3 or 4 mods. We have the vegetation mod, one of the derf packs, and we have the kitchen mod here. So anyways, like I said, these are all the same down here. Identical suites. If you want to come up here, you might be able to decorate your own suite that you rented out for the race weekend. I'll give you guys a view of the back lot here. So we're ready to go check out the hauler real quick, and I want to show you guys how that interacts with cars. Alright, here is the new and improved NASCAR Hauler. Now, this thing is on the workshop, or at least the original version of it is. I think this was from my truck stop world, if I'm not mistaken. And it was something that we modified. We made a big NASCAR Hauler trailer here. You can actually walk into the side of it. Check out the inside. You've got all the tool areas in here, locker areas, like a little meeting space. Now the top compartment, this is somewhere where it can actually hold a car. Now it is a bit hard to achieve in Scrap Mechanic pulling a car up here because of the amount of lag when you have two objects that touch in Scrap Mechanic that are loose, especially if they're kind of complicated like the trailer here and the NASCAR. But it is possible. So what you would do, you can see our new little section here. This is something that wasn't on the last one. This is the piston section. We're going to hit this, oh, not this one. We're going to hit the bottom button first. That's going to make the whole top end fold out. Now, if you want to make the controller where it bends down further, you can make it to where it's on the ground. The reason it's up off the ground right now is, yeah, the amount of lag that this truck and trailer causes when it's in contact with the ground and when you try to pull the NASCAR up on it, it's bad. It gets down to probably about 2 or 3 frames per second, and it's really unbearable. So what you realistically are going to have to do, you're going to have to weld the NASCAR up into the section up here. Now, I will weld it to this ramp here, and we'll show you that the piston area does work, that you can use this piston ramp and it'll go straight up. So what you would need to do, you can hit this button here, and you would have your NASCAR on here, and it raises it up to the top, and you would roll your NASCAR into this little top section up here. You can actually hold up to, I think 2 cars will fit in here. It would be laggy, but it can happen. You've also got secondary controls up here if you want to make the ramp go back down, and you've got one to close it. So, to get the NASCAR on here, now I would say, hey, let's just pull the NASCAR right up on the trailer and use the ramp to put it up and roll it into the top, but that's not really possible. So I'm going to have to actually weld the NASCAR on first, and I'll show you what happens. Alright, so now the NASCAR is on the ramp. I did have to weld it on the side and then drop it. I'm not getting too bad of FPS right now. Now, it's really not the piston that can't get the NASCAR up, it's the amount of weight that the bearings can hold here. So, say we're going to try to lift this thing, the bearing's going to weigh itself down. So you would need to have somebody in there to drive it up real quick to finish it off, because it's just the amount of weight of the car, and the Scrap Mechanic bearing can't take that much. So hopefully we get a strong bearing soon, because this is one thing that holds a couple things back in Scrap Mechanic. But what you can do, if you want the car up in the hauler, you can weld it down to the floor here. It fits perfect. You can back it up onto the ramp. It is going to slope down like it is now, and then you would just lower it, or have a buddy hit the switch, lower it down, and you can unload it. So we'll just hit that switch. Oh, that's the fold switch. You don't want to fold. There we go. So I'll make that piston ramp go down, and then you can unload it there. So it's not the perfect system, but it is kind of what we have here in Scrap Mechanic and what we have to deal with. Hopefully, like I said, we get a stronger bearing next time, because that would really help to get this thing up perfectly. If not, we'll have to have like another support on the bottom, which is kind of a pain. But it's really just for show. I just wanted to have you guys see that, yes, this thing does work like a real NASCAR. Now, it doesn't or a NASCAR hauler. It just doesn't necessarily have the strength to achieve what I want it to achieve. But ultimately, it's pretty cool anyways. But yeah, that's gonna about wrap it up for today's episode. Let me go ahead and move this over here, and I'll tell you how to download all of this. And we'll talk about a little bit more what's gonna happen here later in the week. Alright, we're gonna fold that up there. There we go. Got our NASCAR out right here. So yeah, if you want to download this, the download link will be in the description. As far as I know, I'm not going to leave any of the cars in there. I want you to go to my workshop to get those. That way you only have to have like 4 mods active to play with this map. It's going to be the vegetation mod, it's going to be the mod pack beta, and I think the normal mod pack, and you want to have the kitchen set. It's like kitchen furniture set, and that's what's up in the suites. Other than that, that should be the only mods that we need. Now comment below with more suggestions for future builds here in Scrap Mechanic. I'm also thinking about going back to the Monster Jam Arena and finishing that build up too. We might do that later in the week. We're probably also going to return back to the underwater base. Now as far as this weekend, I'm going to be pretty busy. I've got a family member that's moving back into town, so I'm going to help them move some stuff. So I'm going to have kind of limited time to build here in Scrap Mechanic. So we might have actually a smaller episode next time. It won't be one of these ginormous builds that I do where I have like tons of areas to show you guys. So it might be a little bit smaller, but we'll get into that when we do in the weekend. we'll have this. We'll also have some more Brick Rigs challenges coming up very soon, and maybe a couple other surprises. But anyways, folks, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support on the videos. If you like to like and subscribe, everything helps the channel. Remember, if you want to join the Discord, we're doing tons of fun things. We're having conversations over there. I'm going to try to get some play stuff together where we can actually play together in certain games. And I might be doing some giveaways here very soon. So if you want to join that, that's also down in the description. But anyways, folks, hope you have a great day. And we will see you guys next time on Scrap Mechanic. Thank you.